over
You turn that doggone thing on.
I know, probably this week, so
Okay, we're on.
Hi.
We're rolling?
Yeah.
Welcome to the 1991 annual cinnamon roll baking
Seminar.
seminar. I don't know what you call it. It ain't really a contest.
Seminar. Cinnamon roll seminar.
Okay, then we start out with a mixing bowl that we have warmed with warm water.
Tell them why. Why did you warm that?
Because the dough rose faster.
The old roll rose faster.
The dough will raise faster if your bowl is warm when you put your lukewarm water in it. Now then, you measure out 2½ cups of lukewarm water.
Well, it's only a 2-cup measure.
Well, now I suppose you couldn't put a ½ cup in later. Now, if it's too hot, you put a little of this in with
Who said it's too
a
hot?
½ cup.
well, you want it just very warm now. You don't want it too hot. That's okay. That's all right. Dump it in the bowl. Now go back and get some more.
Oh, crappy water.
Back and get some more. If you have a little more or less, it won't make any difference.
There's a little more.
Okay. Now then, I want to make sure this is not too hot. Maybe it ain't.
Well, where's
Okay.
Luke? We gotta have Luke to tell us how warm that water
Okay.
is.
Well, it just feels nice and warm. Of course, I think there is a temperature gauge, but I don't know what it is. Now you put your yeast in there.
East.
East.
Oh, yeast.
That's east or west?
East or west, whatever you want to. You put all that in there.
I'm going to get the other package here on the other side. There's 2 of them. Right?
Yeah.
I hope that's right. Well, it's starting to rise already. It says 50% faster.
Okay. Now then you take your spoon and you stir until you get that melted up.
Melted. You gotta melt that stuff?
Oh yes, you have to melt that
Well,
stuff.
then that water better be more than lukewarm.
No, but it'll cook the yeast and then there won't be any left to raise your rolls with.
We don't need this anymore, do
No.
Yep.
Unless, of course, if Becky was here, she'd probably grab the trash can and get it out. I told her.
This reminds me of an old time when I did wallpaper.
Wallpaper? What
Looks
are you
like
talking about?
wallpaper paste here we're using.
Well, no, it'll be all right. You keep
What
stirring.
does Becky do with the trash?
Sends it in and gets coupons and money and stuff out of it.
Oh.
Recycle trash.
It's a recycler. It's a recycler.
Okay, now we just about got this dissolved, so
Okay. When you get that dissolved, then can you read?
what's it say?
Well, you read it.
Says I can't see. There's a glare on the thing here.
Okay.
With
Now,
the beater says add
well, maybe you better.
for about 3
Maybe
minutes. It
Amy
says.
can
Well, we
read
haven't,
it to you. Let Amy read it to you instead of me.
What am I reading here?
we haven't done 3 minutes of this yet.
Well, where he's
Where are we at?
stirring the yeast into the warm water.
I don't even see
I'm
that.
asking-
Oh,
I'm
that's the
asking
first
for
thing.
reading,
That's the
not
first
copying.
thing.
Yeast in water for about 3 minutes.
Well,
3 minutes. You got about 2 more minutes to go.
Well,
Well, that's all.
you just get it melted up good. That's all it has to have done.
Is that good enough?
Yeah, that's good enough.
That's good enough. What's
Now
next?
what does he do next?
Add cake mix.
Okay.
This is the cake mix here.
Love and light.
Love and lights.
Well,
feels better.
any kind of yellow cake mix is okay.
Preferably-
Now you can make these cinnamon rolls out of any kind of light roll dough, but I just like this recipe the best that has the cake mix in it. Of course, now if he can't,
Don't spill that everywhere. Oh, good one.
You didn't get that now.
if he can't get it open, why, I always take a pair of scissors and cut the top off of it.
I
Makes
know.
more
That's,
sense.
that's,
That's
easy
the
way
simple
to do it.
way to do it, but of course he thought he could do
I
it
don't
better
want to do it the simple way.
by just ripping around over the package.
What's gonna be
Okay.
next after this, Amos?
Well, next, you
Then-
got to add 1 cup of flour.
Well, don't you have to put these eggs in there pretty soon?
It says 1 cup of flour. Then you add the eggs.
Okay.
After you're done wiping all the cake mix.
Well, now you want your dry cup for that.
Well, dry cup. 1 cup of flour.
Alright.
Okay.
Now eggs.
Now you
3.
break your eggs. See, this here is already wet. You break your eggs one at a time in something, then if you get a bad one, you don't mess your whole thing up with it.
Remember that, that's a key ingredient now.
Now dump him in and then do the next one.
Yeah.
So if you
That
find,
you do them one at a time in a separate dish, therefore you have not ruined your entire recipe.
Look at you, you're dripping it all down the side of the thing.
Oh, look at me, doing a good job. See, that egg looked good.
This is such a happy little egg. Remember like the painter on TV? There's this
Happy.
guy on TV that's
Oh,
a
I
painter.
bet the chicken had a great time laying this egg, didn't he? Yeah, just
And
look at that, so
everything
perfect.
is so happy. Now let's put a tree in here. This is such a happy little tree. We gotta put another
Now
tree.
we
now
got
stir this stuff,
3 eggs.
Now,
kind
wait
of
a
stir
minute.
that up. Is there any?
Where's
Oh,
my
oil, oil.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta add the oil.
Oil,
How
wait a
much
minute.
oil?
Y'all are getting out of hand.
How much
here.
oil? How much?
I don't know. Just wait a minute. A third a cup of oil.
A third of a cup. There's your third of a cup. You got all these little things here.
All right. Yeah, it looks pretty close.
Okay,
to a
okay,
third.
now.
Now
salt.
let him drain out.
Just
Good.
a minute now.
Take your finger and run him all out of there good.
Yeah.
That's part of the
Did he
thing.
wash his hands before he started this?
No.
Well, that's beside the point.
No, washing hands, that takes away from the flavor.
That's beside the point.
You don't want to do that. That distracts from the flavor. You got to have a little.
Jeez Louise. Okay, here. Now add the salt.
Add the who?
Salt.
How much?
1 teaspoon of salt.
1 teaspoon.
Since we're using light salt, I would put about 2 teaspoons or a teaspoon and a half.
1 teaspoon. There's a teaspoon.
What
And
happened to you being over here on this side of the counter, Bob, trying to put some of this stuff together?
there's a half
Okay.
a teaspoon.
Yeah.
I needed
well-
a technician over here.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Now you
Next
throw
thing
those
says-
eggshells in the trash. You never
Sure,
leave
we don't
eggshells.
recycle them.
You
Yeah,
don't
maybe
never
those are
leave
recyclable.
eggshells laying around so
This is
nasty.
biodegradable.
I was gonna say that's recycled the eggshells.
All right, the next step says beat with beater until
Okay.
bubbles appear. We're looking for
Okay,
bubbles here.
stir that up with your spoon. And then you put it under the mixer and let it beat a while. Just let it beat till it gets tired.
Get tired?
Just let it beat a while. You take this and you, to get it off of your spoon, be sure you get it all, because you don't want to waste nothing.
Well, no, we don't want
Now
to.
that's enough. Just kind of give it a little mix. That's all you have to do. You know, keep it from
There's chunks in
flying.
it.
Don't worry, we'll get the chunks out when the beater gets to it, the mixer.
Yeah, yeah. The beater takes care of
We're
that.
looking for bubbles here.
Yeah, we got bubbles.
Well, it seems to me like that's kind of stupid because you'll never see any more than you got right there.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're gonna lay this little helper right on here. This is the advantage, Amy, of a big mixer. That if you want to put that on my Christmas list,
Yeah, right. I'd have to go out from house to house and take donations to pay for it.
just feel free. One on sale.
Yeah, right.
One on sale. Then it's always important that you keep your work area clean and tidy. If you don't,
Well, now while this
From
is
the
beating,
happy
you
little
won't need that
homemaker
oil
himself.
anymore, and you won't need that empty cake box. So you may dispose of the cake box and put the oil back in the cupboard and the salt because you will not need them anymore.
She even sounds like a happy little painter.
you can return those to their designated area.
Yeah. Return those back to where they live.
We got any bubbles over there yet?
No, not yet.
Well,
Just be
you
patient.
You just let it boil. You just let it bubble a while. You just let it beat a while. Now you're going to use
I
that.
know, I'm just holding it down here.
Yeah.
I know we're going to use a lot more of it. Lots more.
Now, how many more cups does it say to add? to
How much
this?
did we put in there? So
Keep
far.
reading.
How much flour
You
did we
didn't put
put in?
any in there, did you? Oh, you did. 1 cup.
We put in 1 cup.
Now your next thing you're gonna do is add more.
More
Now,
flour.
don't put it in that wet cup.
Dry out your thing.
It's right here. How much more am I going to add?
3 1/4 cups.
3 1/4. All I got is a third.
Well, you're going to have to add more than that because that's not enough flour. You'll find when you get it mixed, you measure that amount out and put it in, and you'll find it's not enough.
Oh my.
So then you have to add until.
until it looks
Until,
good.
how do you know until when?
Well, that's what we will show you.
That's the secret.
Oh, geez.
Is the until. The untils are always the secrets. So we keep track of the secrets.
There was another one of those. There's another one of those little cups over there. I bet that's the fourth.
I know.
Yeah, that's
Like I say,
the
we're gonna go above that anyway.
Yeah, that's the fourth.
We don't always listen to
And
that.
the half is the one that wasn't washed clean and got in there. It was all there.
How many minutes does this thing beat?
Well, just till it gets to bubbling, and I think it's just about there.
We're looking for bubbles.
Tiny bubbles.
That's what it says, but I just let it beat till it looks like it's all mixed up good. I don't bother to count the bubbles or,
You know what would be the funnier thing than taping this now? Would be taping it when he goes to try and make them off the tape.
well, we'll have him call us in when he goes to do that.
Yeah, when he tries to reproduce this,
Yeah, you let us know when you get ready to try this yourself, because I'll be getting that camera over there and watching that. That'll be funny.
so that's when we send it to America's Funniest Video.
Yeah.
That'll be hilarious.
When he tries to reproduce it.
Okay, now dump in another cup of your flour. Maybe you can put two.
Slowly. You're supposed to be adding this
I did
slowly
slowly.
now.
You saw how slowly I dumped that.
Yeah, right.
Now I'm gonna dump this in slowly
Look
too.
at that. That's not leveled off or
That's
anything.
close.
That don't
That's
matter.
close. See how slow I did that? A little bit. Just a little slow.
Okay.
There we go.
That was only
Yeah.
2.
I know.
Now start the
Just
mixer very slowly because
So you
it will
throw it
fly all
everywhere.
over the place if you don't.
Yeah.
Paul found that out the other
It
day.
goes everywhere. I know.
And see, I don't have one of those things to put over the top.
No, see that one on sale has one of those, I think.
Yeah.
It showed it in the flyer anyway.
Now, how much more flour do you say you want?
That's fine.
Well, like I'm going to buy a mixer for $200.
No, it's only 150.
Oh,
180.
what a deal.
180.
My bad.
100 from you and 100 from Nikki.
Oh, sure thing.
Each case.
Right, if I had $100, I don't know what I'd do with
You'd
it, but it
spend
wouldn't
it
be
on-
buying a mixer.
Spend it with me.
I don't even have $100.
How many cups did you put in there?
2.
And you just needed how many?
3 1/4.
Okay. Now bring your other one over here and put him in.
Leveled off there, leveled off. You want the quarter in?
Yeah, dump it all
You
in.
take a third. How's that?
That's all right.
Good thing we're not fudging a little bit with the recipe.
Well, those
Well,
are the
you'll
secrets.
find out that,
Those are the secrets, is that fudging.
I think if you keep reading, that may say add more flour.
Whoa.
It goes all over the place.
Well, that's what I said. See, it'll go every place if you ain't careful.
Gotta watch it real close. See, this is the difference between a good mixer and a handheld mixer.
Oh, be
You
quiet.
see, you can stand here and not
Yeah,
do
but
anything
no, I mean,
while it
just-
does the work.
Just the power that it pulls to mix that.
We get the picture, Danny. Okay, it says in parentheses, add more flour if too sticky to work.
And see, that's what I said.
Yeah, see?
And you will find when you take it out of here, it is
It's gonna
too
be
sticky.
too sticky to work.
It'll be too sticky to work.
You need more flour than that, or that's gonna have to dry up awful lot.
Well, that's what I said. Now, stop along in the middle, push the dough down off of the beater, and you'll see it's too sticky. Throw another half a cup of flour in
Half, I'm using a third.
there. Okay, that's
We don't have a half, remember that was the
No.
dirty
Oh,
one.
yeah,
Half
that's all right.
dirty.
Just dump some in there.
We're using thirds and thirds. We're going by thirds here. Whoa,
Whoa.
go it around now.
Yeah, throw it around.
Now, if we used white cake mix, we would have more of a white consistency, to it,
Yes.
wouldn't we?
Yes,
Instead
that
of the
would
yellow.
be just as well. It would be the
Because the
same.
cake mix is what's giving that color to it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you put eggs in it too.
Everybody cares.
Well, it does. I mean, it depends on what color you want your cinnamon rolls.
I want them red, so can we use the strawberry
We can
cake
use,
mix?
we can
Yes.
put some red coloring in there and fix it
Yeah.
right up.
You could make,
Okay, say I did really want them red. Would it be better to use strawberry cake mix or put red food coloring in
it
it?
wouldn't make a whole lot of difference.
Either way.
You'd have a strawberry flavor. if
Because the strawberry mixture
and the red
has
cake coloring would not make it,
change the taste.
it would not change the taste.
Yeah.
Or you could use them, make them for St. Patty's Day and put some green color in it.
Yes.
Like those one strawberry shortcakes Mom made that one time with green sugar and they came out green. And you talk about yucky, looked like green cow patties on a cookie sheet. It was gross.
Well, you see, you try these silly things and then they don't work out to suit you. Now you see, you take it out of the mixer now. It's about as stiff.
About as stiff as it's gonna get.
No, as
Still
the
pretty
mixer.
sticky looking.
Well, it's about as stiff as the mixer wants to handle. So you take it out, you scrape all of it off of your mixer thing.
You want to zoom in and check out the dough in the bowl there, get a consistency, hold the
Well,
bowl up there so he
see
can
the
see how it's
consistency
supposed
here
to
now.
look.
Yeah,
You see how it just kind of runs through the bowl.
yeah. Well, now that's not
think
quite
it's
The
right.
zoom is in, on the front there, Bobby.
Okay.
See the,
Now you put this over here.
it does too. It's right there underneath the mic. See that
Zoom.
wire?
But that doesn't work for us.
Yeah. Now
This
then
thing here
you
does the same thing.
you take your
Oh, I know.
spoon
But that other does it too, just with the
and
touch.
you
Don't
stir
work,
it.
he said.
It's
you
broke.
take-
Oh, you tore it up.
He didn't
You
do
take your
that.
spoon and you see it is a little too thin yet.
I say it still looks a
So
little thin.
now you dump some more flour in.
Another third.
Very thin to
Yeah,
me.
you just
It
dump
looks
some
pretty
more
thin to
flour
me.
It
in.
looks pretty thick to me.
Well, but then you're gonna get this out there and,
You're gonna work it now. Wait till you start
Well,
working.
that's right. We gotta all need this before we can roll it.
yeah.
Do you need it, Bob? You don't
We
need
don't
it?
need it. Well, we need it.
We need it, so we're
Okay,
going
now
to
you get into that and you stir. That's what you wanna find out is how it feels to you. You gotta get the feel of it.
Got
Did you get that? You gotta get the feel of it.
Yeah, you gotta get the feel of this stuff.
right
The
now. it
happy
feels a
little feeling it's gonna be. When you
I
get it,
need
you'll
this.
know
Do you
it.
need this, Amy?
I need
Okay.
to have this
I
happy
need it.
feeling.
Now you get your, you take your recipe and go off someplace with it.
You take your recipe and go off someplace with it.
You
And don't
get-
come back to finish the roll. You just get out of there with that recipe.
Well, you get it off of this board. Okay, now then, Amy, you dust some flour on here. Now,
Dust? I didn't come over here to clean. I don't have dust. I
You're
don't do
fixing to learn.
dusting.
okay, now if you don't have a flour sieve, just take your hand or a cup, but I like to take it out of the sieve on here.
Okay, so what I do, just start turning this thing?
Well, now turn it over that board.
This is awfully heavy dust here now. This isn't dust. This is.
Okay, now that's the way you do it. Now you probably got almost
Too
enough
much.
on there. No, she's all right.
Still pretty
Okay.
sticky.
Well, you'll put some more in it when you get, yeah, that, you're
Oh,
all right.
okay.
Now take your hand and slop that all over the place.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to get your hand dirty.
Slop that all over the
That's part of the
place.
cooking here is getting dirty.
Then he dumps his dough out in the middle of this.
It's awful sticky looking.
You dump your dough out in the middle of this.
You ready to dump? It's sticky, I'm telling you.
Let's see. Well, maybe you better put another,
Say, it looks like
a little
all
bit more
flour.
in.
Here, dust some in there.
But,
Yeah, I'm putting some more in there 'cause it looks like it's too sticky.
This is kind of messy.
well, you don't have to get it all out just in little corners and everything.
Oh, Lord.
Well, you can't, not for this time anyway. Now, the next time, yes, but this time, don't get out past that hole.
That's right.
That man didn't make it as far out here as I told him to. And he couldn't imagine why I wanted such a big board. He didn't have any idea how to cook.
You got this handmade?
Yeah, I got it handmade because I couldn't find one in the store, and then he didn't want to do it my way. And
Well,
I think now you're ready
just
to dump
can't
it
get
over
good
here.
help anymore, can you?
Oh, I've had it a long time. But he couldn't get in his head that I wanted a way. I said, I want it big enough to roll noodles and cinnamon rolls and stuff on. Oh, you won't be making it any bigger than that. That's what he thought. Okay, dump it out here on this.
I don't know. It still looks a little.
No, it's all right. It's okay.
Just a bit.
Now I want each one of you to get the feel of this dough. I'll show you how to start it. I'll show you how
Bob,
it
you can
goes.
come over here and get the feel of this too. you need it as much as we do.
I'll just observe.
Till he gets
If I
ready.
see you do anything wrong, I'll tell you.
But you scrape it well. You scrape it well.
I like to play in the dough. Now, this would be my fun part
So
here.
this will be your fun part.
I like to play in the dough.
Now then,
No, you've been
you
making a
kind
pretty
of,
big mess so far.
Well, that's what I do. That's the neat thing, is make these messes.
then you
Yeah.
sprinkle a little flour,
There you go, Dustin again.
dusting again. Then you take your hands and you
We're
go
gonna
like
use this pan-
this.
We're gonna use this again?
No. You go like this. You bring it out from the outside to the inside. And you keep doing this. Now you got it just about right. You keep doing this just like that. But you got to get the feel of how that feels to do that. You know, how the dough feels, because if your dough don't feel right, it won't be right.
It won't be
And
right.
that's why you got this flour on the breadboard, is to keep it from sticking to the breadboard, and then you stop occasionally and do like that. Now then, get into it.
Get into the feel of things.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of it.
Right, it won't bite you.
Stick to my hands. Should I get more flour on me?
Well, you
Just
just
on the
put,
dough.
Do what?
Just the flour on the dough.
yeah, the flour on the dough. You see, oil will stick a little here and there. See, I got some on my hands. But don't be afraid of it, because you do this over and over here. You do this for about, 5 minutes. Of
5 minutes you do that?
Yeah, you do that quite a bit of times. You just keep doing it. You just keep, don't,
Jump right in.
Me
Yeah.
and Chef Taylor, I don't think we're ever gonna go into business together.
Don't think you'll get it, huh?
but you
I
get
don't
the
think so.
idea, that's the way it goes.
Here, Daddy, you can
Yeah,
feel it now.
let your father get into it.
I'll let
See,
you get the
you,
feel of it.
you get it like this and you go like that.
Yeah, I
Don't,
understand. Get out the way. I
don't be
understand.
afraid of it. Take
I
the
understand.
the heel of your
I
hand and
understand that.
It's like you're
squash
fighting
it.
that thing.
I understand that. I understand that. You just let me get in here. I understand.
Well, you don't push breadboard off the floor on the floor either. You
But
just,
I'm just rolling it over here and getting a little
The main
flour.
thing is to be sure you wash your hands at least a couple days before you start.
Well, last Thursday, a week ago, I did.
well, see, you just take your hand and you brush this
I know.
flour up to where you want it, and you just keep pushing it to the middle and going like that, and pushing it to the middle, and going like that.
See, this is the fun stuff here. This is what I like to do.
It's just like playing with Play-Doh.
That's right. You know, it's like a little bit of clay.
Then you want you a bowl at least twice as big as your dough. I forgot to have you bring this out earlier.
Uh-oh. Well, let's change the tape now.
You have you a bowl at least twice as big as your dough.
We're making a mess.
Huh?
Somebody threw some on the floor.
Yeah, I know. It's been flying off that side of the counter
Is
there
that
a
in the
couple
recipe
times
or not?
now.
Yeah, the more you
Make
can
sure
spread it
that
around.
it flies all over the place.
And the thing is, if you check the ceiling when you're finished and see how much is on the ceiling, then you know you've done a good job if it's
Yeah.
on the ceiling.
The-
If it's not on the ceiling, then you haven't done a good job. I'll some
Then-
powder on
Oh my God, Daddy, that's an awful lot of flour.
that you,
Gee, Minnie.
then
Still sticky.
you take some shortening. Well, no, it won't be sticky if you put.
You quit messing around with it. See, look at that, sticky to
Well, you're pushing him maybe too hard.
You're just getting too into the feel of
Getting into the
things.
feel
Don't
of
get
it,
into it
that's all.
that much.
You take some kind of shortening, whatever you've got, and grease your bowl with it,
Why'd you do that?
So it won't
so
stick
the
to the
dough
bowl.
won't stick to the bowl.
Oh.
And it will have a tendency to rise easier because it's not being restrained by the bowl.
Oh, please. What kind of lime is that?
That you always bring the outside to the end.
I know. See? And then I can flip it over every now and then just to mess with it.
Well, that's not really necessary.
I
now
know,
you
but
got
I
him,
like to play with it.
now you got him backwards. When you got it, flipped him over, you got him backwards.
I know, but I like to see it's a little sticky here.
Well, then you
That's
just,
why I wanted more flour, and
Well-
you guys were fussing with me.
well,
But
you
she
don't,
doesn't pile it on there like a.
Look at that, she did.
She did not. She
well,
sprinkled
but
it.
you don't
just
want
put it in a big
to,
glob in the
if you
middle.
get too much flour, if your dough is too stiff, then your things will be more dry.
I don't want dry.
Well, that's why I don't want you to put too much in it. Now let me see if that's done.
You sure? You sure you want to mess with this now? I mean, looks like it's getting there.
Yeah, but that's supposed to,
Quit playing, Daddy. Let someone else play.
yeah, it's my turn. Well, that's supposed to get air into the dough. See what you're doing is getting air into the dough. In case you didn't know it. You see, you do like this, and you take the heel of your hand and you do him that way,
How
and he's
come
not,
it's not sticking to her hands? Like
Well,
all
see,
yours?
if-
Well, because I got it all floured up.
no,
Do it
see, he
right.
was messing with it, and he wasn't always pushing it to the middle. He was turning it over too many times.
See there, you ding dong.
That you see, you go like that, because that is plenty stiff. In fact, it wouldn't have had to been even quite that stiff.
Now look what you did.
Now look what you did. You got too much flour in it. It's going to be dry. Throw it out and let's make another.
We ain't gonna do that. Now then, you take this your pot of dough like this, and the book says to put him in like that to grease the other side of him and then turn him over. But I take him like that, and I take a little grease and smear over the top of him like this.
Goodness.
That I just smear him like that. Now you see you've got a nice little batch of dough there. Now then, this is where you have to do the waiting. This is where you wait
Tables or what?
about 2 hours on it to raise. You put it in the warmest place you can find in the house.
Which is usually a warm oven.
You could, and we may have to do that this time. Now you cover that with a dish towel.
I'm just waiting for my hands.
Well, you wash your hands there in that bowl.
In that bowl?
Yes, in that bowl.
Oh, yeah.
You cover this and you set it someplace. Now you could, I've never done this myself before, but the other day I set it right down here on the floor, on top of that there,
Heater vent.
that metal thing by the heater vent, but the heater's not coming on this morning because it's too warm.
Okay.
Of course, I can tell you one other warm place where we could put it, and I have been guilty of it before, and that's in the bathroom. But in case you don't want to put it in the bathroom, the different book says that you can turn the oven on warm
So if you just
and put a cup of water in the oven.
Yeah.
And then set the dough in there, but you would want
That's
it
the way
on,
I do it.
you would want it on warm. You wouldn't want it to get very hot. Because see, if your dough gets too hot, it cooks your yeast before it gets done. Now
I
that's,
don't want that to happen.
no, you wouldn't want that to happen. So, well, this old cup here, he has crack in him anyway, so it should do something to him, that would make a difference. I don't know, this, I guess, is to have some moisture in the oven. It's the only thing I
Keep
can
them
do.
drying.
It's the only thing I can think of. But it's supposed to be just warm. Now that, of course, your recipe will say an hour or half an hour. What does the recipe say?
Oh, I don't know. I was supposed to take this recipe and go somewhere with it. Luckily, I didn't go very far. The recipe says knead on the board. Okay. Roll out. Roll. We never rolled it.
Well, you didn't go roll.
Oh, let rise until double.
Yeah,
Double
see,
in size.
it don't say how long, because that depends on the temperature. Now, if you take one of these and like well, we ain't got enough, you just leave this, you kind of scrape that where it's stuck out.
Scrape some of it off.
Well, you have to take one of these kind of knives, or the butcher knife or something, and you go like that,
Yeah.
and you get that off there because you don't want that on there when you go to roll your cinnamon rolls out.
That's right.
Then you can take a paper towel and you don't get a dish rag.
No, this was when I was going to wash my hands.
That's,
This wasn't for the board.
Sure.
Wasn't
well,
for the board.
you don't get your, you know, you can get a paper towel and do it, but you didn't want that on there for your next roll. Now then, there'll be about
Now
at
we're
least
gonna
an
break for a
hour,
commercial.
maybe 2 hours elapsed. So,
Now we're
well,
gonna have a friendly word from our sponsors.
yes, now we'll have a friendly word from our sponsors, which means that since nobody can waste that much time,
We can
we
try.
do have a Christmas tree out in the shed, which needs to be put up within the next week and a half, so we will put it up at this time.
We're now taking a temporary break.
Yeah, we'll take a temporary
That's a happy
break.
little tree.
And,
Well, the cameraman's not feeling well at all. I think he's gonna lay down for a while.
This is where the cameraman gets to do a little bit of physical exercise. The shed is around back.
I think I can kill about an hour cleaning this board.
no, that is, you don't have turned off in between times, but,
It's on.
Okay, you're on.
okay, well, now before you start rolling your dough, you can put your butter in here and put it in the microwave and melt it to spread on your dough.
I can do that.
How much better you have to have here?
Well, you just put some in. It don't tell you any certain amount, and it usually takes about a stick and a half, and then I think I just cut that stick in two and use about half.
I just want to use it all.
And, well, whatever's left, you put in your powdered sugar icing. Okay,
That's what
it won't matter.
That's what I thought. I thought we could do that. I was determined to use it all anyway.
He was determined to use it all. Okay, melt that.
Close.
Now the dough looks like it might be about double or someplace in that neighborhood. Okay, where'd he go?
Huh? I'm melting my butter.
Oh, well, it'll melt whether you're there or
Well, I
not.
know, but then I'm watching to make sure I don't melt it too much. I don't want to melt my butter too much.
It'll melt whether you're there or not.
It's getting there.
Yeah,
Oh, better get a little more.
okay.
Another 15. Okay, now what?
Well, here goes your flour. You put a little more flour on the board again. Okay. Now this is where I was telling Amy she would need flour all over the whole board a while ago, but she thought she needed it then. Okay, you get a hold of this dough, and you take, perhaps a third of it. Because your board's not big enough to roll it all on. You just sort of do it that way. And then you flip it over like you used to like to do.
Yeah.
And then you get the rolling pin out of there, second drawer.
All right, we're getting into the good stuff now.
Yeah. Then you roll this out. Just,
I don't get to tip it no more. I don't get to play in it.
well, you can zip it just a little bit if you want
I
to.
was gonna say I want to flip it one time. I just like to play in it. If I don't get to play in it, I'm not messing with it. Okay, now I've done that.
Okay, now don't press too hard, but don't
Get a lot of dirt on it.
don't press too hard and roll and keep rolling until you get it down to about 1/4 of an inch thick, and try to keep it. You can move it around if it goes to going too far one way and not far enough the other one, and gets too big one way. And
Can I flip it?
yes, you can flip it. You can do anything to it you want
I'm
to.
gonna flip it.
Like a pancake.
Yeah.
But you just keep rolling until you get it rolled out to about 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah, I always like to flip it, but see, it doesn't have enough flour on it.
More flour.
No, it's got enough flour on it. I don't think it's gonna stick.
I think it's gonna be dead, you have to put flour on it.
you'll get the hang of about how much.
I just won't flip it. I mean, I like it and all, but I just won't flip it.
Well, what I mean is how hard to press on the rolling pin. You don't press too hard, but you still have to press hard enough to keep it going and keep rolling. It likes to draw back up, but you keep rolling anyway. You just keep on rolling. Of course, now this other dough, after it sets a little while, it'll roll easier than the first one did. Because it says to let it rest a few minutes, but when you get ready to roll it, let it rest a few minutes, but we ain't letting that
See, we're going to
rest.
about a quarter.
Yeah, you gotta go bigger than that. You gotta go almost as big as the breadboard.
I can do that too.
You get almost as big as the breadboard.
I reckon you go roll the rolling pin.
We even have a squeaky rolling pin now. Everybody don't have squeaky rolling pins like we do.
That's one of
That's
the
a secret.
secrets of success is
Squeaky
if it
rolling
doesn't
pin.
squeak, then it's not going to come out right.
A squeaky rolling pin, yeah, that's.
There's an air bubble.
Well, them air bubbles will come out as he keeps rolling. They'll keep rolling out. Of course, the spectators are on the wrong side of the room. They're not showing. The
Clap when he gets back.
the spectators should be over here.
I thought Chris was supposed to do this part.
Around it. Yeah, take Alicia to the hospital.
What's the matter with her?
I'm not sure.
She's still having trouble with her neck.
So we're getting there.
Yeah, you're getting there. Just keep rolling.
She was eating pretty good.
Do Alicia a running one? I'm not sure. Might be running.
Well, they were supposed to take that kid to the doctor, wasn't they, today?
Well, that's what he said. That take Alicia to the hospital. She's
the-
still having trouble with her neck. Or,
Yeah, they have to do some kind of a test. Carolyn told me the other night. I asked,
Wait a minute now. You guys are supposed to be off camera with this conversation.
oh, well,
I mean,
we can put anything on this.
making rolls.
On this. And, well, this is
Not
an
part
Irma
of-
Bombeck kit.
Not part of the training program.
Yeah, that's not part of the training program. All right. We'll try to keep up with the training program.
Don't try to make a mess now. It has to stay for it.
You say the next one's going to roll easier than this one.
Yeah, the next one will roll a little easier than that one.
You have bright color.
Yep.
Okay, I imagine that's about, I think I can let you get away with
You
that.
think?
Yeah, I think I can let you
I
get away
don't
with
know.
that. Okay, now.
That's less than a quarter.
That's what I thought, but she said quarter and then.
Well, I don't take a ruler and measure it. Now, you have to grease your pan to put them in. See, I forgot to have you grease that before you started rolling, but that's beside the point.
Grease what, the pan?
The pan that you're gonna put these things in. You gotta put them in a pan. You can't stand there and hold them.
Well, I was.
Well, we got a grease up pan home, let's put that through.
Huh?
We got a pan home, let's put that through.
Oh, well, if you don't, you got one you don't have to grease, but you see,
I grease mine anyway.
my pans have been around for a few years. They weren't making those greaseless pans back in my day because these pans are
I
older than
grease
Bradley.
mine anyway.
These pans are much older than Bradley.
They're not very old pans.
Probably about as old as you are.
Oh, I would, some of them I've seen,
Now
They must
then,
be
you take
60
this
years
butter you
old.
melted and you spread it
That's how
all over your dough. Just dip a spoonful at a time and spread it around over your dough.
I want to make sure that it's mixed up good, melted
Yes.
good. I don't want to be putting no lumps.
Okay. You spread that all over your dough.
what's that called?
This is called a redistribution of the melted margarine.
He'll come up with some kind of a name.
what that's called. See, you just have to know how to use the spoon now in order to
Yeah.
get
Well,
this.
now, some people might get a little brush or something, but I have never used anything but a plain old spoon. You see, I do things the old way. And it spreads just as, it spreads just as easy. It's pretty well, you know, just so you get it on the dough. That's your important thing.
You got to know how to do it just right. And this takes skill, years of practice.
I'd say so. I don't think I could do it.
Probably not. I mean, you know,
Okay.
it's not your
Now then you
everyday
get that
task.
all smeared out. Now you take this sugar. I brought you a cup of sugar.
Have 1 cup of sugar.
Yeah, you just pour a little bit in your hand and
Sprinkle
see
down.
that you sprinkle. Of course, he gets that old left ball there, and
You're supposed to do it with your right hand.
I'm doing it.
No, because I got a left-handed cup here. See,
You,
with the left-handed
you
cup.
see that you get sugar all over it.
You got
It
it.
don't matter, give or take how much you put. It usually ends up you've used a half a cup or a cup, that you put lots of nice sugar on it.
Grandma can eat this.
Well,
But
we're
she
not
would
making these,
anyway.
she would anyway, but we're not making these for Grandma. But see that you get sugar every place. That you'll end up using probably a half a cup full. Give or take a little bit, I usually
Put
just.
that piece in there.
Oh, you don't want a old lump in it. Oh, okay.
No lumps in
You wouldn't have noted
rolls.
when the time come anyway.
No lumps in the rolls.
And you get sugar every place. Of course, the sugar, if you get a little too much or not enough, what difference does it make?
I always like just a little bit too much.
You like it a
Just
little
to
bit
get a
too,
little sweeter than it should.
because it just, that's all difference it makes is whether it's sweeter.
Now, the thing is, for you people who are on the wrong side, you'll have to get a right-handed cup. Otherwise, it won't work right for you.
I got it right here.
Do you have a right? It's good, because
Okay.
they're hard to come
I
by.
think- I think you've got it pretty well sugared.
All right, now you
Okay.
got 3/4 of a
Now
cup.
you sprinkle cinnamon all over that.
I didn't.
Gets that old left paw and he sprinkles his
There
cinnamon.
again, now you gotta use the left-hand side, the right side of the cinnamon can, if you're left-handed or right-handed.
Oh, I see how much cinnamon is. That's a big top.
Sprinkle that cinnamon all over. If there ain't enough in that can, you can back
We'll
get
get some
another
more.
can.
How many cans do you have of cinnamon?
Oh, I got
I
another
think we're
one.
gonna need,
This one was near empty, I got
this one, I was
another.
gonna say, this one's just about
Don't forget it right there.
empty here.
Yeah, that you get cinnamon on all of it. That's something else that's just, there's no set amount.
You,
Well, you get, as she says, get some over there and you'll have enough.
you just sprinkle to taste.
Yeah, sprinkle to taste. There, that's enough, I think. Okay.
Well, I said taste now, I'm not done yet, I'm still
Oh,
playing.
you've got enough.
I'm still playing down the
Credit,
sides
credit,
here.
credit, credit. Don't you see what I have in my hand?
Just a minute now, down the sides here. Hey, wait a minute now.
Oh, you got plenty. You wouldn't really need that much cinnamon.
Oh, looking good.
That's,
It looks good.
but he put that much on. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. You could either roll this up like a jelly roll and cut it in slices and lay it
Make
on.
little circles.
Make little circle cinnamon rolls, but since everybody in this family likes these long, slim cinnamon rolls, now, I always cut them the longer way to make them, you know, the short way here. Now you take this knife
Is this a left-handed knife? Okay.
and you cut strips, cut them this way. And you cut strips about, an inch or
You
3/4
gotta
of
turn
an
the
inch.
board around. See, you got the board.
Oh, I got the board wrong because
You
of
want
that
how
left
much?
paw. About a half to a fourth, or about a 3/4 to an inch.
That's good enough.
Yeah. Strips. Now you have to, if you know what stretch cut is, they call this stretch cut.
Stretch cut. You're telling me this isn't a stretch cut?
Yeah, I say that's what they call cutting the dough that way, because the dough cut keeps it wiggling, but they call that a stretch cut.
Right.
And now you just keep on cutting till you cut the
Cut
whole,
into the board.
well, that's why you've got it on a board.
That's right.
And it's-
I know, but I don't like these boards.
But see, the board adds a little flavor to it, because whatever was on the board the last time is now included
Noodles.
this time.
Did you salt the board?
Salted? Yes. We did do that.
Now you keep on till you get that, the whole thing cut up that way.
These part way.
How wide is each strip?
About 3/4 to an inch. He's getting a little wide there on some of them, but that's, really doesn't make any difference.
Just makes a bigger cinnamon roll.
Yeah, it
that's
just
all.
makes a bigger cinnamon roll. It's,
No big deal.
no, if you get them, but that's, most of the books say,
That way you only
about,
have to
roughly about an inch.
eat one roll
Looks like
instead of two
What do you say it looks like, Brad?
Lines.
lines.
Lines, yeah, well, you can call it lines or whatever. We don't care.
Hopefully it's going to be lines. Knife's getting dull over on this end.
Well, now, if you get too much sugar and stuff on the knife, you take this paper towel and you wipe it off.
Oh, now you
Never
tell me.
thought about that.
Never entered my head.
Well, you see,
So you put too much sugar and cinnamon on it.
Oh,
See?
but that's what's going to make it
Yeah,
good.
it's gonna make it good. You want
you,
that?
you
You want
see,
that
when you're trying to think of it, when you're doing it yourself, you just automatically do it. But when you're trying to tell somebody else, then you forget some of these things till the time comes and then you think of them.
Think, oh, you're trying to get in a movie.
No, she's all right. Let her be over there and watching. That's how you gonna learn to do anything if you don't watch people do it.
But doing it. I always just like to do
Yeah,
it.
I do
Can
it.
you eat one?
You could probably push some. I don't know about eating them. You're not supposed to eat them from cooking.
Okay.
Now there, when you get them all
That
cut,
last one's gonna be good.
then
I have
One
to.
is.
then you take and you fold him about a third of the way over, and fold him over about a third of the way. Then you pick him up and you twist him. And then you lay him in the pan and you kind of smash him so that he'll lay there.
Isn't that very
And then you do the next one, and you keep on doing that until you
That
get
looks
them,
easy to do.
till you get them all done. If they go to flopping around, that's all right.
Some of them might be bigger.
Some, well, they're going to be. They won't all be
Well,
the
see,
same
the problem is because you twisted those to the wrong side. See, that's why.
That looks like fun to do.
That's why you twisted those to the wrong side.
Well, of course, this guy, this left paw, he's going to twist his opposite from the way I did, but that's fine.
If you're not left-handed, this tape won't do you no good.
Well, you take that butcher knife if they're kind of stuck and you pull them loose.
That's what I thought.
And then you just keep doing that.
Yep.
One time I made it too thick. I see what you want.
Well, they,
Had more dough than I did cinnamon sugar. So
and he's got more cinnamon sugar than he has dough. He's got a little more cinnamon on it. I put that much sugar on it, but he's got a little more cinnamon than I use.
They're gonna be good.
That's all right.
Let me tell you now.
There's no harm
They're
in
going to
that.
be good.
Yeah, there's no harm
Going
in
to
that.
be good. There's no
I'll make
doubt
a whole
about
make
it.
some now.
I'm gonna go home and make some. I'm taking these all home with me.
Yeah, I'm gonna take them all.
Who's making these?
Who's
No.
watching?
I am. I'm making them. You.
Gotta get
Right.
some stuff for watching.
Get something for watching.
Yeah, you have to get
I'll
some.
let you smell them. You can smell them as they cook.
It's hard to home make my own. I can do it now.
You can do it. We're not done yet.
Well, that's
So
the
you
part,
probably get to the end and mess it up because
that's the part there, I got the recipe. That's the part I missed right there. Got to be thick.
Was how to do them. Well, that's what this seminar is for,
Set
is
a
to
quarter
show
of an inch.
people how to do these
Set a
things.
quarter of an inch thick, and those things there is not no quarter
Well,
of an inch thick. Turn that
you
thing
just
around.
roll till they look right. I just said that. You just roll till they look right to suit you. You get them kind of flat and thin.
He's just getting them just right.
Gee, I tell you, these are going to be great. There's no doubt about it. I could sell these for $1 a piece out there on the corner. But I'm not.
Why
You
not?
would never get to the corner of them.
I know, they'd be going before I get there, wouldn't they?
Yeah, you'll never get to the
Looking
corner.
good. Look at that.
Well, let's hurry up and get them in the
Woo. Wee.
Starving
He's gonna
me.
be slow about it, you guys. Just leave him alone.
Starving.
That's right, starving. I know. Didn't eat breakfast before you got
You
here.
gotta let them raise
That's
again.
right, I didn't.
That
Yeah.
takes another
I
hour,
didn't.
47 minutes.
Well, that's why they
starving.
put the decorations on the Christmas tree is while they raise again.
But they have to race again.
Yes,
We're
they
gonna
have
have
to
to get us one
raise.
of them boards.
Well, you can do them on the counter, but you know, it chops your counter
I know.
up pretty
Like
bad.
Kevin
That's,
and
now, he
Yeah.
didn't want to chop his counter up when Misty was rolling some dough. He had it rolled on the back of a
Cookie sheet.
No, I never.
So, you can makeshift with most anything.
I've got a
But you
board,
don't-
but it's not that big.
Well, how big or
Well,
what?
it's probably about half that size.
Yeah, well,
That's pretty wide out of the board. I don't know if you need to buy a board that wide.
yes, now, I bought one down Florida. I got one down there too. And I bought it it's not as thick as that, but I bought it and it didn't cost me near what that did. It was only $6 or $7. That is 2 or 3 years.
Where'd you get it?
Well, I was trying to think. I either got it at Kmart, I believe, or
Bob.
one of the stores they had down there.
If you buy,
Um,
you know, if you can buy a board that wide and then just cut it and sand it down, you have.
yeah, well, that man, he
Well, you
glued
can fix
2
one.
pieces together.
Oh, that's how you
He
gotta work.
glued
How
them
you gotta
together
do it.
and then sanded them down. But he
There you
charged
Mom's
me a
gonna
fortune.
leave.
He charged me a fortune for doing it. And, cause I give him $22
You gotta see what
for that
Grandpa
thing.
Smith did to her that one time.
And I hadn't told him
Yeah,
to put
but
that
you're
handle
right.
in it, but
Yeah,
he
that
put
was
the
Aunt
handle
Mary.
in it.
Yeah, it was Aunt Mary.
Ew.
That's why he charged
He
you.
got you
Yeah,
once.
had to get the handle
eating
right.
food.
But he
Yeah,
put
when
that
he was
handle
eating
in
food,
it.
he
Yeah,
got you.
handle, I wouldn't pay him but $10, so I didn't want a handle.
Well, but you see, he wasted part of my board with that hole.
Yeah, that's right. You can't
He
use
made it easier for you to
that.
carry
There's Max,
around.
he's ready to go shopping.
Yeah.
He probably just wants to know cinnamon rolls are done
Yes.
before it shows up.
Hi, Bob.
Oh, what's the problem?
Knowing him.
You gotta let everybody else do one of these, don't you?
Huh?
Yes.
These are going to be great
How do you know?
because I made them. You don't think I'd make
You don't know
anything
about
less,
that.
would I?
They probably taste awful. after
They
you
probably
put them
taste
with
better because he made them.
That's right, there you go. Brenda. Tastes better because I made them.
them.
Now, you have to take another third of this dough.
Well, I can't
Clean your
get
pan
enough
off there.
dough
Your
to
pan
take
isn't
you to
right
have it
yet.
there.
them.
How many have said they would come? Why I said that, when Pansy Morgan talked to me here about a week ago, she said that
Get that
it,
stuff out of the way, that's it.
they didn't know whether they was gonna get enough even dough there or not. Oh, if they got that flour. Yeah, well, as far
Mom,
as
your
I
guy's
know, I
eating
don't
Junior.
have anything on the 7th. I don't
Hi,
believe,
Bob.
let me check my calendar. Well, no, the only thing I have written down here was that Patchwork Gardens was gonna
Let's
have
see
their
here. Show us how to operate
open
that
house,
thing.
but
You
that
get
is
the picture.
something that I can, you know, it's, yeah, it's from 9 to 5. I may not get there anyhow.
I'll operate
So,
that one before
This would be going on
from
June.
Jason's house.
Oh, we all got to.
Yeah. And that magic
Yeah.
show thing.
Throw it on the floor.
Now, do they have a set price or just?
You
a
don't
homemade
care.
something?
All you have to do is make you know.
What is the set price or do they have?
Yeah.
Oh, he loves that
Yeah,
flower.
Yeah.
Love that flour.
Okay.
Just love plain that flour.
I
About
thought
half
that's what
of
it's
what you got
supposed to be
left.
for. Playing.
Oh, well, I
Yeah,
am having
Another
I was
third here.
telling my son here
Flip
to
it
take
around
about
a couple
half the dough we had
Then
left.
roll it.
We was
I thought
having
you was gonna play
a
with it.
cinnamon roll seminar.
I am not playing in it.
I'm teaching some kids how to make raised cinnamon rolls. And, well,
I mean, the second one
they
is
wanted
hard.
to learn, and a couple of the boys did, and one of the granddaughters was here a while, and the other 2 or 3 is here now, and they're watching while another one does the work, and I
One does
had
all
him
the work.
roll about a third of
And
the
one does
dough,
all the work.
and then I told him now just to take half of what he had left, because the breadboard's only big enough to handle about a third of the dough at a time. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing this morning. But I'll mark this down for Saturday then, and we'll see what happens between then. I told Pansy, I said, well, if you can't get in or can't get them to do it or something, or they can't do it, I said, just come down here, we can have it down here. And,
Don't roll them too hard.
Not a chance. I'm an expert at this.
That's what you're gonna do.
Right. That's right.
Okay. Well, you go ahead with that, that'll be fine with me. And we'll see what we can do about it, but if they cut you off again, why, then let me know. Well, let me know and we'll do it down here. Okay, thank you. That's Mary Ellen Garman, they backed them up, the American Legion had from Friday to Wednesday. Now then, they've got them, want them come on Saturday.
I still want to know what this got to do with my bacon.
Well, that's really not got anything to do with it, but that's why I had to get on that phone and quit watching you play. And now, you make that just about the same thickness as the other. Of course, you may not have the same size piece of dough. So now, if that acts like it's gonna stick someplace, go like this and flip you some flour under it. Raise it up like that and flip you some flour under it. Some more.
Well, did you think it act like it was going to stick?
Yeah, it just looked like it was going to.
Well, it didn't look like it to me.
Well, it looked like it was to me.
It wasn't to me. You just had to look carefully.
Make it about the same thickness you did these others, and then, but if it don't cover the whole board, that's fine.
You just
Because you may
messing
not
with
have the same size piece of dough.
messing with my dough here. Just messing with the dough.
Yeah, ruin your dough.
That's right.
I made that one, I made pretty good, too thick, that's one thing.
Well, if you're gonna twist them like this, now if you're gonna roll them up
Make them a little
and
thicker.
cut them and make them into round ones, it probably wouldn't make as much difference as it does with these. You were trying to make these.
I'd say that I run it off the board, so that's
Yeah,
probably
okay.
pretty good.
Okay. Now just do like you did before. Spread it with butter and sprinkle with sugar. Of course, now you've got that little piece of jumping off the board.
That's all right,
there.
he'll be back on there by the time I get over there.
I thought you had enough space on the other side that he's got it
He'll
slipping
get
back
there.
up there.
He'll be there by the time I get there, he'll be there. See, it's a good thing I use 2 sticks of butter because it looks like I'm gonna use
Well,
more.
see, it takes a good bit of butter to spread them all. And then I put it in that size dish, then you can mix your icing up in that same dish. And if you had any butter left, it's in your icing.
Two packages of yeast in there, right?
Yeah,
There's 3 packages coming in.
yeah, and then you have to save one of them and buy another package to get 2 packages for something else. Oh, Angie, can you write? If you can't, maybe your mother can.
Yeah, let Mom do it.
Use rapid rise or use just
It don't matter, this was rapid rise. Have you,
You. No.
I give you one of those, I think didn't I put that cinnamon roll recipe in that?
Can we twist one
I
up?
got it someplace.
In that
Huh?
book?
Can we twist one?
Your hands clean?
I was gonna
When's
take
the
a
last time
copy
you
of
washed
that.
your hands?
I got it.
This morning.
Well, here's your, so
That's probably close
I
enough.
don't want it. Twist me.
You're not twisting anything?
Copy it down so you got it.
Right there. Oh, you get that cake mix, 69 cents.
Their cinnamon's 59 cents.
Well, whatever, you know, it don't make any difference. Mike, oh,
Bobby, you're getting off the trail there.
getting off the trail so far. If you don't have this, we told them this morning, if you don't have the yellow cake mix, use white. It just won't be as, your dough won't be as yellow. It don't make any difference.
It's just 69 cents. You gotta get it through.
And,
I'm out of yeast right now. I used the last one.
What the heck, I got just a little dab of sugar, I'll just throw it on here, I don't wanna leave it
yeah,
kept.
well, I was gonna say now, if you got enough, you ain't gonna go back and get some more.
We're gonna need some more for the next
Yeah, okay.
bunch.
You can always back get some more. Over there in the cupboard here, too. He's got
Oh, I
the
ain't
cup.
know that.
Take the cup and, go get it. Yeah, he's gonna need some more of that.
Need some more cinnamon.
There's another box of it over here someplace. But, here, you take this, Bradley. There's the sugars in there. Now, you can't take it in straight. You gotta take it in that way. Back it in, back it in. Now you go and do it that way. Go out. Yeah, here's what you do. You
Well,
get
you get up 7 in a hurry.
sugar. You gotta know how to have.
Hey, but these will be good, let me tell you. These will be good because I don't skimp on the ingredients here.
There's some more.
Well, Bradley brought you another can. there
Well,
if
this
you
is
run out.
empty, so.
Now you just cut like you, that's enough on that.
What do you mean that's enough?
He's gonna put a
Try
lot
this
on
one.
it.
He just getting started. Better buy a cake now.
Yeah. Left it.
Okay,
Okay,
now,
now you get your knife and you
Okay.
cut just like you did before. Just do the same thing over.
Now, does this soft margarine go in the ingredient itself?
Now,
Or is this where you melt it?
this is where you might, it tells you down there in the directions. You could, that you write the stuff all down, then you write the directions down. You may have to write the directions on the back. But, write the directions down and, it tells you what to do with it. Now, you see, you put oil in the first half of it. And you put oil, so much oil, I don't know how
I
to
guess,
1/3 cup it, yeah.
You're wasting the film there.
Mom, your hair fixed all right?
Oh. I can't. You guys.
are
That's,
you guys sure you're gonna be able to get your hands out of your pocket long enough to twist these?
Wow.
All right.
One is.
Better wash your hands,
oh,
Brad.
you,
I did.
they both went and washed their hands so they could help twist them. They want to see how to twist them. So then whenever you get home and your mother mixes up the dough, you can help her. Of course, Angie's big enough to mix up the dough and do the whole thing.
Probably have to.
Probably.
There ain't no reason why you can't read a recipe.
Well, I'm the one that, when I was making pumpkin pie and we had to make the pies and we had to mix all that stuff up, I went to anything that crashed it.
Now, are you guys left-handed or right-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Well, it won't work,
Bradley's left-handed.
because we've been operating on a left-hand basis the whole morning.
I'm left-handed.
You
But I can't do
left-handed?
so
Well,
many.
Bradley, you're gonna be all right then. You're left-handed,
Oh,
it's
well.
no problem.
But that ain't gonna hurt anything.
So just remember, Angie, everything is backwards from what you see.
Now you just do your thing and it'll
You
be all
strange
right.
people that work
Those
from
weirdos.
the right
We
side.
got those weirdos there.
Yeah, try your right hand, it's fine.
Yeah, we got those weirdos. Charlotte will really get a laugh out of that there too.
Well, she learned how to make biscuits off of that. She got
good shape.
Well, we're not trying to make biscuits.
Oh,
I hope he's not making biscuits there, putting all that cinnamon and sugar on them.
That's the best way to make biscuits.
No, you use a completely different process to make biscuits.
Okay, hot dog. Here's how you do her.
you don't put that cake mix in.
Take this thing a third over there, and a third over there like that. And then you just twist it. Have a blast twisting it. Okay? And after you get it twisted out there, you just nail it right to the pan. Okay? Flip it over and see what you do. Third. And all the way over now. Take her all the way over. There you go. Now twist it. And twist it. And twist it. And twist it. Stretch it out a little bit. There you go. That's probably going to be the best one to bite right there. There you go. Okay, Angie. Third. And a third. And then twist it.
No, they're real simple after you do them a time or two. Just takes time.
Now, if you get real long ones like this, you might just want to cut it in the middle. Make yourself a short one. Like
Yeah,
that.
if they get too long.
If they get
you
too
can
long,
always do
you can
that.
always shorten them up a little bit, especially for this short side of the pan over here.
Yeah.
That's for over here on the short side.
Of course, I usually run all the long ones down one side, then run the short ones down the other side. And that
You
way.
guys did all right on that. You want to do another one?
Yeah.
All right, here you go. Hit that one right there.
You just put powdered sugar icing on anything, right?
Yeah. While they're raising the second time and baking.
Stretch it out a little bit.
While
There you
they're
go.
baking,
Stretch
well,
it
then
out.
you can mix up your powdered sugar
There you go.
ice.
Don't pick
Put it over on the
But
short
you
side of
just
the
mix
pan.
it up, milk and
That's
powdered
the way to
sugar
do it.
and a little
Stretch it
vanilla
out
and
there.
a pinch of salt. Have it not too thick, not real thick, not too thick. Then put it on while we're still hot.
I put it on there once. I was amazed one time.
Good job. There it is. See? You guys doing all right. I may even let you eat one of these. Since you made one, now Bud and Becky, they're not getting any. Because they haven't made
Then I'll get
any.
in here.
Well, they're not done yet.
Because they haven't made any.
And Bob hasn't made
And Bob didn't make any, so he's not getting any either. See?
But he's the cameraman.
I don't care.
He's doing all working on the camera.
I don't care. You see him over here making these? He can run that camera all day, but it don't come out with cinnamon rolls, does it?
Now, he said when it got to start eating them, that camera was gonna be off.
Well, but see, the camera has to be on because then you have to show the proper way to eat them.
Supposed to eat with
There's
chocolate
a
milk.
trick to eat.
Supposed to eat with chocolate, dip with chocolate milk.
Well, I expect each one of you could come up with a different way to eat.
I know when we make this stuff it in your mouth.
Oh, I know one way. Just eat it the regular way.
Yeah, just eat it the regular way. I'd probably be eating mine with a cup of tea. Paul would be eating his and maybe with a glass of milk. Bud's gonna eat his and dip them in chocolate milk. Now, when that pan gets full, then we have to fix you another pan.
This is a biggie here. This is a biggie.
The
It's
little
right there in that corner. See that? Right there in the corner. Looks like you'll need another pan here because we only got room for a couple more on that.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get you another pan.
Becky's gonna need another pan.
Think so? Let's all vote for the pan. What do you think? Look at the pan now.
Who's got the pan?
He's got the pan.
Well, you want, you and him again if you want to.
I
I'll,
wanted to do it first.
I'll set this one over here out of the way so they can grease that one, but you can finish filling this one up.
As long as you took some in there, I'll be about ready.
Hey,
We can do one first, and one first.
this is not a speed process. This is a skill process.
Yeah, now you just smear grease all over it. Get it out of there.
This is a skill
See that you
process,
Smear it all over it good.
not a speed process. Exactly. Take that.
You're gonna make 4 dabs out
I'm
of it.
making 4 dabs. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I usually only made about 3, but It doesn't make any difference.
Depends on how big or hurt you.
It don't make any difference to me how many tabs you make out of it. You just do the same thing over
Oh,
and
it goes towards the formula, it's that three
Ends up
times
making
less.
money.
well, it don't say
Oh, right.
how many tabs, it just says roll it out.
Oh,
And I guess I wasn't supposed to do that.
that's probably max.
Not enough
That may
salt,
be.
Huh?
Not enough flour?
I guess.
Have I got enough?
Yeah.
Good guess.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Something has to learn about.
Who's dad?
Who's dad? Which dad?
Bud. Oh, I thought you said dad. Yeah, Bud's here. You want to talk to him?
It's me.
Okay. Who are you? I thought that's who you was.
That's what Max wants.
Alicia.
Oh,
Alicia.
You want another one before you go? Hello? All right.
That's what she went to the hospital. Got her test.
Yeah, I want to go. I'm clear over here.
Clear over here.
Time. Where's Sunset?
Tell him, go ahead and pick you up. That way he won't be here when the rolls are done.
You get Max off? Well, I'll be out there. Okay. Bye.
We'll have to get in here.
I'm staying here.
At least. I know it's one of them drink kids.
I thought it was her.
Hey.
I thought
Get
she
on
when
there.
you first said it, sounded like you said.
That's funny. I think you've done fine on that one. Clean your hands now.
Flipping off his ass. No, but I'm sure.
Friendly, that's a drinking thing, not a food thing.
Well, I'd say you should go before the rolls get finished. Yeah, they'll be gone when you get back.
Some of the things I did wrong, I didn't give it to him. It does. One thing, I didn't get enough butter and cinnamon.
That's enough. You want to play in.
I'm trying to get hot water so I can wash the drinks off.
Well, I do too, I like butter and cinnamon.
You figured it was too high, you couldn't afford somebody.
They're always getting
Looking good.
one and a half.
Looking good. Oh, let me see the butter. Looking good.
Maybe you have more.
It's looking bad.
There's 4 ounces there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I got that. It's okay for them to stay if you wanna come back after.
I don't know if we'll come back after.
Well, then just leave them, I reckon.
I think we ought to go. I want to go to Walmart.
Me too. How much allowance do I get? I get 3.
Well, if you're going to Walmart, you can leave until you come back. You'll have to go right down past here to go to Walmart.
I think I'm going. I'm going.
They're afraid it won't get.
They're afraid
Lisa
that
got-
Oh, you going to Walmart?
Yeah, probably.
Well,
We're hoping to have
I'm
most
gonna
of the
give you
cinnamon
some
rolls
money.
eaten by the time you get back.
Well, I can get.
I'll get
give you some
one.
more bears if they got 'em.
I'm still my money on my purse.
But,
Get
I'm
it
gonna
one last time.
have you get me some more bears and see if you can find me some more, you might, if you go into Aldi's or someplace, see if you find me some more chewing
Eddie
gum.
likes
want
that
this to
sugar
be
and
good.
cinnamon. I tell you, he uses more. I thought that 1 cup was supposed to do the
I
whole
get
thing.
every corner.
No,
Five
not
pounds,
necessarily.
is it?
That is if I got any, but
Well, it
let me
takes the
see how
whole-
much money I
See,
got.
my
Takes a whole bag of sugar and a whole bag of
Flour.
flour just to get this done right.
Here's my mom. Come and get her. Get her in it.
Just to get her done right.
That's one thing, I didn't have enough ingredients
Well-
when I made that
Oh,
stuff. I didn't
turn the
have
camera
Becky.
over.
5 pounds of flour and 5 pounds of sugar.
Well, see, that's not
I only
enough.
got $5.
Yeah, get her.
Hey,
Get her, Bob. Get
Well,
her.
that's what I was gonna say, I give you a check.
I'll give him.
Well, I was gonna say, see what you can get me some more chewing gum, another, maybe if you go into Aldi's,
If
You
you
can get
could
me some
in
more chewing gum
Walmart
and
got
some more
all that.
lifesavers.
Walmart
Better
got
get some more cinnamon.
lifesavers, all that.
And a pack of bears. And if there's a dozen in a pack, so another dozen I think would do it.
Okay.
And
I think that's
then
enough
when you bring them
cinnamon.
back, I give you
Sure.
a check for them, but
I don't know.
Don't get a clown stuff.
I don't know.
One pack of gum, one pack of
Like
lifesavers,
that
and one pack
salmon.
of bears.
yeah.
Get my mommy.
Well, it depends on how many lifesavers
this-
is in them.
it's
How many did you want?
Oh, I need about a dozen.
Okay.
Well, we gotta get
Yeah, let's keep going.
If she's gonna go run around the shop, I think.
Okay.
Bye.
Don't eat all them donuts.
Hey,
Yeah,
there
let
you go.
Ellen taste one. Yeah, since we made some.
I'm saying I'll leave one for
remember.
Bradley and one for Angie because
Yeah, that's right.
they made
Well,
one.
You stop on your way back from Walmart, they'll make Becky stop.
Stop picking them cinnamon rolls.
I was gonna say, they'll make Becky stop. Keep on, you're gonna be on your own here a little bit.
I know. It's amazing how quick the help thins out here.
Helps it in and out, you're all.
But they always thin out before the good time when you get to eat them.
Yeah,
I'll
That's
be
okay.
back in time for that.
Yeah,
they'll all wanna come back just about the time they get out of the oven. But,
see, there won't be anything as good as a left-handed cinnamon roll.
yeah, well, I don't do them left-handed because I ain't left-handed, but then, you see, it's kind of a slow process. Is the reason I don't do them any oftener than I do. It's just messing around, fooling with them.
The trick is cutting a straight line.
Well, if you don't get them straight, you get them crooked. I would hate to think how crooked some of mine ends up, but I've never thrown any of them out yet.
Sometimes it tastes better when you
But,
get them crooked. 'Cause it
But,
seals the flavor in being crooked like that.
yeah, well, maybe that's why the reason that I never have any trouble with them. But they all get eat regardless to the, of course you could if you have kind of wipe that off on the end of your dough someplace too. I've done that before. To kind of scrape it off on the back end, onto the rolls. Because it's bound to get stacked up on there. That's just a part of it. You can put probably a couple more in that pan over there, and then the kids have got this pan ready for you.
Let me throw a couple bigger ones over there. Oh. When they don't stay together like that, you just have to
Yeah, you just
Catch
have to
'em.
mess with them till you.
catch them and redo them.
And,
That's all.
there, now that'll fill that pan up.
Fill that one up.
And I don't know really hardly where the warmest place to raise them, but I don't want to get them too hot. They will eventually raise anyway. Those obviously didn't raise because it didn't raise all day. He might have had his water too hot. But if it was cold weather and he didn't have the room very warm, that holds them up. Of course, I had him making airplanes and train engines yesterday, and Isa done her. done a real, see, the train engines, if you notice, they're put together pretty good. The ones Isa done, she sat down there and done them good. Well, I don't care. And then,
Don't be saying anything bad about the others.
yeah, but, well, some of them, you see, them kids didn't, they didn't even put the stuff all on. So then I'll have to do some of them over. No, Isa done hers real good. Then everybody wanted to take one home. Isa says, can I take one home? I said, yes, you can take you one home. Then, of course, that was saying the wrong thing. Then everybody had to take one home. So I don't know how many they took home, but it didn't
Call
matter.
more than me, I promise. Yep, we're getting there.
Yeah, now you gotta roll it out some more. Of course, I usually make about 3 rolls, and you made 4. 4 or 5. How many did you make out of them? That's, just a matter of what you want to do. I don't think you need any of this. But anyway.
This is the fun part, getting to play in the
Get the play.
flour and the dough.
Getting the play and the flour and the dough,
Just get to play in the dough.
I forgot to tell them the 12 o'clock news on. Now it's almost 1 o'clock. They're all over with it.
Missed it now.
Got all interested in making stuff instead of, you're going to use just about all your butter. Well, see, sometimes I melt some and then I have to melt some more. And you just melted enough all at once that you wouldn't have to melt no more. Of course, your squeaky rolling pin really does help.
It's one of the secrets. If the pin don't squeak, you better get one that does.
Oh yes, if I buy you a rolling pin for Christmas, I'll be sure to roll it around a few times and make sure it squeaks.
That's right.
Because if it don't squeak, it won't be any good.
Don't give me nothing that doesn't squeak.
Of course, that one-handed rolling pin that I loaned you, you can get by with that if you have to.
It does all right.
Becky said she didn't have a breadboard. That made me think I was wondering what to hunt her for Christmas. If I can find some for $6 or $7, I'll look
We
at it.
make those plexiglass things.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether they'd be as good as wood or not. You can't hardly beat wood for rolling stuff. But I can't remember whether it was Kmart or whether it was Ames when they was down there, or there was another store there when I first went down there. I can't remember for sure which one had it, but they had several different sizes of wooden breadboards, and the one I bought for around $6 or $7 or $5 something is as big as that one is actually as far as rolling concerned, but it's not quite as thick.
It's heavy.
But, well, that's it, it wasn't as heavy to carry around either. But I needed one down there because I made some light rolls. I made Jim on cinnamon rolls to take to work, give to the fellas over there at work. And he went and come over and done some work for me, so I made him a batch of cinnamon rolls to take to work. say if it goes jumping up on you, raise it up and put some more flour under it. But didn't kick out that flour business, but you have to have enough flour. It don't seem to be too stiff or anything. Seems all right. It goes working up all right.
Yep. I don't have no butter here. Don't know. Maybe a little sour.
Well, you just spread it a little thinner.
No,
Of
do now.
course, if you like too much, you have not enough, you have to melt some more. There is more.
Close.
It seems like things kind of quieted down when all the workers and audience disappeared.
Down to the serious stuff here.
Yep, well,
Ah.
they all disappeared.
Pour that in.
Yeah, that's okay. But you can still mix up your icing in that bowl and save dirtying up another extra bowl. You know, you don't want to wash any more dishes than you have to.
True.
At least that's one of my pet. I don't like to wash any more dishes than I have to. I always just sprinkle till I'm sure I've got some on all of it. I never pay attention to whether it's a cupful, a half a cupful, or what. And it don't tell you on the recipe any certain amount. It just says sugar.
Well, that's what I'm using, sugar.
Well, I got that one day that was so fine you wouldn't have known for sure whether it was sugar or not. You know that day you went
Yeah,
to make something?
I wasn't sure that was either.
But I wasn't even sure that was sugar. No fella on TV the other day. They're always putting some kind of cook on TV making something. But that old guy cooked the Thanksgiving dinner. He had the best one. Did I tell you about that one? Well, he said there's no sense in people wasting a whole day cooking a Thanksgiving dinner. He said, why, he could cook Thanksgiving dinner and have all the turkey and all the trimmings in between during a commercial while he watched the football game. Said it was stupid to spend a whole day cooking up stuff. So he got out, you know, they have that turkey bologna. He got him a paper plate, set it down. He got a piece of that turkey bologna about this big around, you know, and he said, now here's a turkey. You put that there. Then he got him a little old dish of some kind. I couldn't tell what kind of a dish he had. And he got some of that stovetop stuff for stuffing. He went over to the sink and run some water on, stirred it a little bit, and set it on a plate. Then he got, must have been instant potatoes. He didn't say for sure. He said it was like what they had in the service, or maybe it was a dried potato of some sort. Well, he went over and poured some water in that little dish and set it on there. Then he went to the freezer and pulled him out a piece of pumpkin pie and he put that on there. And I don't remember if he put his gravy on his potatoes before he had them or afterwards. But he got a jar of gravy and he dipped some gravy out and put on his potatoes. Then he stuck them all in the microwave. While they was microwaving, he he said, oh, I'm very sentimental. So he put a placemat down, got him a candle and a candle holder and set that up and lit the candle. And by that time, his microwave had run off and he set the plate down. Said, now see, I've got turkey. Oh, I got to have some cranberry sauce. So he got a little container, it looked like he got it at Kroger's, with some cranberry sauce. Now he says, I've got turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, cranberry sauce, pumpkin pie, the whole works. and he just ate it real fast and then threw the stuff all in there. How's my timer running? Well, he said, I got her done during the commercial. He threw it all, the paper plate and all the old disposable dishes, he threw them all in the trash. He said, now see, wasn't a bit of sense in wasting all day cooking Thanksgiving dinner. He said, I got her all done and eat during that commercial. And the old girl was the TV anchor woman. She says, now that's just downright disgusting. I thought it was funny. Of course, as Paul says, now that don't have a thing to do with making cinnamon rolls. But it was getting...
Well, it kills a little time while I'm chopping these out.
Yeah, it was doing Thanksgiving dinner real quick, so just in case you can't get your original Thanksgiving dinner cooked, why, you'll know what to do next year.
I'll have to do it next year.
Yeah, that you'll know what to do next year, because he said that was sort of ridiculous. Of course, maybe he was right.
I don't know, maybe.
This is kind of a slow process, but that's why it takes so long. I don't do it too often.
Yep. But they always seem to eat real quick.
Oh yeah, they always,
They seem to disappear faster than they do.
I've never had to throw any out
Appear.
yet. Sometimes them little short ones, they don't even get folded 3 times. They only get folded twice sometimes. Of course, I didn't tell you that before, did it?
Nope, I have to back the tape up
But,
on this one. Missed that. These, I am sure, are going to be some
they'll be all right.
real good rolls.
How long do these have to set up after you put them in the pan?
Well, they have to set until they raise approximately double their size.
Does that mean you have to measure them before you?
No, you
Yes.
just look at them, and if they're puffing up and puffing together, why, then you call them ready to
You got
put
to
in the
measure. You got to get the exact size.
So that means when you put them in the pan, you have to leave a little space between them in the pan. there.
Well, see, they got a little space that, he ain't got them real close together. He's got a little space there.
That's right.
And they'll raise, of course, if you have them tight together, they just raise up instead of out. They still do the same thing. They would raise up instead of out. But when you're putting them in the pan, you just don't squeeze them real tight together. And then when they get raised, then you heat the oven to about 350 and put them in. And I always aim to make sure they cook at least 25 minutes. And then if they're not brown enough to suit me, I put some let them cook a little longer. But I'll be sure they're done in there. I don't want that to sit down in the tonight.
Hard to say.
I'd say you've done an average job.
Average job.
Certainly not a quality job.
Well, let me say, as an apprentice, I feel that I have been successful.
As an apprentice, that's probably true.
I am certainly not a master yet, but I'm working on it.
As soon as you can qualify as a master, well, we'll let you come back and make some more of these.
Yep, I can do it. No doubt. But you got to remember, I'm ahead of you rest of you guys that just sat around and didn't do this.
Yeah, but somebody had to supervise.
See, that it's getting in here and getting hands dirty is the fun part. That's the fun part.
Now, I like to concentrate more on being the taster.
You may not get to taste any of these. They may not be up to snuff, you know. But they might not be. We may have to just sample these ourselves before we would subject anyone else to them.
I assume Amy will be back in time for the tasting part.
She won't be back at all. She's working till 6.
You think we'll be done before 6?
I hope so. I hope so.
You still have a Christmas tree decorated.
Excuse me? I think the Christmas tree is for those non-technical people that didn't do this. That's what I think that is.
Oh, did he get around on that side?
Somebody had to entertain him till you got that.
Yeah, they did. Well, why didn't you get your hands washed and roll one of them?
Oh, that would have been too technical.
He couldn't have stood that. He couldn't have taken that. Now he's got to put them all over the pan.
Well, I figure I got a little room in the pan there, so.
You got to put
I
them
might
all
as
over.
well.
See, just a minute I stepped out. He went to doing them wrong. You got to do them all over the pan.
Spread them around there.
Yeah, you got to do them all over the pan. After as soon as I left him. That's the way he does. Well, I'll clean some of these things and put them away, such as his rolling pin. That you don't never wash a rolling pin because water is no good for a rolling pin. You just wipe it dry. You just wipe it good. But and a breadboard too, you don't wash them. The wooden boards you don't wash, you just clean it.
So there's that pan.
Okay, that must be all of it. Now then you clean the breadboard good. I'll set the pan rolls over here at the other ones. While they raise up.
Now, where's the cleanup crew?
Yeah, the cleanup crew.
You notice they left just before cleanup
They
started.
left some time back. I'm not
How long do
real-
those normally have to sit?
Well, oh, half an hour or so, it depends. Like I say, the whole thing depends on how warm the room is.
So if it's the middle of the summer, it might only be 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yellow. That don't belong to Chris, that belongs to George, and he lives up at Pickerington. I can give you his phone number. I don't know anything about it myself. So I can give you his name and phone number, and you can contact him.
Remember
And
the two
if I
key
have to
points that
find
you
him
learned
here
here today.
first,
One, you don't
I've got
wash,
so many friends who are
you
down
don't
here.
wash
It's a little hard to find
cutting
them all.
board, and you don't wash rolling
Okay,
pin.
it's the
If you don't remember
614
anything
area
else,
code.
you remember that.
And of course you have to dial 1. That's 861-7793.
Remember, if you're interested in the video of this,
And that is
1995,
the-
the address will be on the screen. This in 1995 plus $5 shipping and handling. And we'll be happy to send you a videotape of how to make your own cinnamon roll. Feel free. And if you use your MasterCard or Visa, you can call toll free. That's 1-800-335-7064.
Now, of course, you have to get that in within 5 days of today's date to get it at that rate.
That's right, because it will go up.
Today's date, of course, is November the 29th, 1991. If you get it in 5 days, you get it for $19.95. If you don't, it's $200 a copy.
And this is truly one of those tapes that will be a collector's item.
I'll bet it will.
No doubt about it.
No doubt
So
about
if
that.
you haven't even considered buying a copy, you don't know what you're missing.
Well, you won't know what you're missing if you don't have a copy of that tape. I could just hear Charlotte laughing when she sees it. And Chris too, for that
They're
matter.
not gonna get to see it unless they got 1995.
Oh, he's not, you're not gonna let him see it.
No.
Yeah, now you take one of these here clean towels and you You rub and wipe till you get the board cleaned real good.
Okay.
Okay, you got a red light now. Okay, now they've raised to where they're just about double when you put them in there.
Are you
So
sure?
now you put them in the oven, but this rack is in the wrong place. So I'll have to move the rack. I should have moved it before I lit the oven. It would have been simpler to move, but that's
These are directions.
these directions don't go with every stove. There's one about in the middle. yeah.
Right in the
Once
middle
you,
of
ti-
it.
once you tilt those sideways, so we can see what they look like.
Okay.
Would you like these to see it? They are
Show
just
them
about double in size.
Show them up close.
And we will place them in an oven that's been preheated to 350.
Yes.
350 for approximately 25 minutes.
Yeah. And you set the timer. You like to set it on the microwave, so that's all right. Set the timer on the microwave. And that, for 25 minutes. And now then we'll let them bake. Now you mix up your icing while they're baking.
Well, I can't mix it up till you get this mess off
Oh.
the area here.
Oh, I
Who's in
think
charge
it's
of the cleanup? The guy that did the work or?
Well, there's room right enough right there.
People come in here and just throw everything in the work area,
Yeah.
and they wonder why the workplace is always such a mess.
Okay. Now you put, perhaps a couple of teacups full of,
Teacup, 1 cup? Is
yeah,
it 1 cup a teacup?
yeah, 1 cup's
I
a
mean, we
teacup.
get into these sophisticated
Okay.
instructions, a teacup.
Okay, 1 cup full of that.
You want 2 in here?
Yeah, I'll do a couple of them in there.
There's 1.
Yeah, put another one. It'll take at least that much. Yeah, you have all these your stupid things in the way, such as glasses of tea and so forth. It's like everything else. You don't have to have a certain amount. And then you put a pinch of salt, which would be about 1/4 of a teaspoon if you want to measure it.
We want to be precise,
Okay.
since someone may want to use this instructional aid. Now, how much vanilla you want?
I'll put a teaspoonful in. You always put a teaspoonful of vanilla in everything, maybe.
Throw a little extra in there.
Well, this is kind of weak. This is
It's a
not the
little
best
weak.
grade of vanilla in the world.
That's what I thought.
Do. Now then you put some milk in there, and you just don't pour too much at a time and stir, and then a little more and stir until you get the right consistency to put on the rolls.
The right consistency.
Yeah.
It looks like this is just about right. I think maybe if we just sifted the sugar onto the rolls, got all this other stuff.
Now we went and wanted the sugar sifted onto it. Now that ain't the way it's done. You know, all these disgusting things that people send you. This is not a bill. Well, I'm glad it is not a bill.
That's this icing recipe. Is it on the other
No, it just says
written
ice.
instructions?
No, it just says ice with powdered sugar icing while still warm.
While still warm. Now, how consistent do you want this? You want it drizzle or?
Yeah, make it, get all your lumps out, pour just a teeny bit more water in.
Water?
No, milk, but just,
Say, where you coming out of that water?
well, Can I help it if the day's wearing on and my brain's getting bad? But now you stir it till you get all the lumps out. Scrape that dry sugar down from the up there on the sides of that.
Yes.
And get all that dry sugar in there. Now when you get it all stirred to where you've got no lumps left, just keep stirring and stirring.
Tilt that up and let's look at it and see what it looks like.
You see this? Now this is still not
Well, it's still lumpy. You haven't got all the lumps
thin
out yet.
enough. You know, this is not.
Well, it may be almost thin enough, but you don't have the lumps all out yet.
So you have to get a lump remover.
Well,
Since we don't have one of those handy little gadgets, it's called a lump remover. We must do the old-fashioned method, and that is basically stirring until the lumps are
Well, you
removed.
could have got the portable mixer and have done it with that, but I always just stir it up.
Don't give away all the secrets. That's the lump removers.
Is that what a lump remover is?
Yeah,
Okay.
for 1995, we could have mailed a lump remover out, and people wouldn't have to do this old-fashioned method.
Well, what was the dumb thing they was talking about? And they was talking about these here, people trying to just get your money for nothing. And
Oh, that's looking good.
what was it? Some
See
little
too many
silly
lumps in
thing
that.
that they said
See
they'd
how
send
smooth
you.
this looks? Now
Yeah.
this is the way it's supposed to look. See that?
Yeah.
Very few lumps. You see how smooth it runs from the spoon?
Yeah, now I'll have to
That's
stir
the
through it in order for me to tell if it's the
See?
right consistency or
But
not.
see, there's no lumps in here.
Yeah.
That just rolls right off the spoon with no lumps.
Yeah, well, I'll
means
have
that
to stir through it because
consistency-wise-
I can't tell just by looking at it. I've got to stir. Well, just maybe a teeny bit more milk.
A teeny
Not
bit
much.
more.
Yeah, not much more, but just
I
a wee
say
little
it
bit
don't be
more.
much.
No.
I usually do a pretty good job the first time.
Of course, I hope the dust on these here shelves don't show on your thing.
It does.
Now you stir that real good and you should have it all ready to put in when the rolls have baked.
How long do the rolls bake?
The rolls have to bake about 25 minutes, give or take a few minutes.
Depending on the oven.
That's not
Individual
their-
ovens will require different
Each
heating
oven is different, and
and baking temperatures.
you check them, and if they,
If they're burned, you've had it been too long.
yeah,
Right.
you know
If they
they've
get
been,
real black on top,
you know they've been
then
in
you'll
too
notice
long.
that you've overcooked them.
But
But don't fit because not all is not lost even when they're black on top. So you just put a little thicker icing on them.
Or peel off the black part.
yeah,
That's right. Or
peel off
take a
the
sharp
back
knife and
Peel the
cut the black part off.
But you can tell by the looks of them if they're brown, about the brownness you want them. And then if they're not, you leave them a few more minutes. And then you kind of touch the sides of them, and if they're coming loose from the pan, that makes it seem like they're done.
Makes it seem like, but it may not be. It just seems that way. It could be a deception here.
That you have to look at them in order to tell for sure.
See how smooth that? Yeah,
That's-
you couldn't get any better than that. You
Now,
bought that
that's-
store.
Well, they don't sell that kind of icing at the store. That icing they sell at the store ain't fit for cinnamon rolls.
That's right. Not for these kind of rolls anyway.
There. So now then, you wait until they have cooked. So you can shut off till they cook now. And then,
Okay, so you have to stir this up a little bit just to
yeah, stir it
Get
up
it.
again.
loosen up a little
Yeah,
bit.
be sure it's loosened up good. Now
You
just,
see it's still loosened up pretty
okay,
good.
now just dribble around over your rolls the way you want to. And just smear it around over all of them so that each one has some icing. I take the spoon and kind of spread it.
No, 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 no.
You're not going to do that. Well, that's
Don't
fine.
do that now. Just hold on here now. There's certain things
It needs to be done your
that we
way.
do
Okay, that
just
you,
all the way.
that you dribble your stuff around. And my, don't they look good.
Let me tell you, you couldn't touch these in any store for half the price.
You put as much icing on these as you want on, and if you don't have enough of the others, you have to mix up some more.
Oh, is that right?
That's the way it goes.
That's good, because I was gonna put some more icing on here.
That's the way I do if I don't have enough and I never get enough mixed up the first time. I always have to mix some more.
As you can see, these look yummy.
And they don't even smell too bad. I don't know, can you smell them on the film?
No, we don't get any smell in the film.
Oh, well, you're missing something.
Tell you, at the end of a long day, there's nothing more satisfying than to kick your feet up, have a big, tall, cool glass of milk, and a hot cinnamon roll. And these are definitely going to hit the spot.
Well, I'm sure glad all them other workers left.
Yes, they don't know what they're missing at this point.
But,
But we can always tell them about it, and they can watch the film, and
well,
maybe they can have their own sometime.
something tells me now, what did you do with your pot
Right here.
holders? Now raise it up just a little, no, just this one side, so that it will show on his
Oh, you
thing
want to see-
how delicious looking they are.
See how yummy them are.
Tell them up just a little bit more.
Hey, be careful, you drink
Don't want to run the icing all off on the
table, just
thing
don't
here,
you.
because I'm running.
Well, don't tell them any more then.
I mean, the icing is all going off on the one side here,
Get
see?
Well, you got your finger, that's just good.
Now this is a helpful hint. Should you tilt it up and get the icing off, feel free to just take your dirty finger and rub it right across the counter there, pick up the old icing and put it right back on there.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate he was just putting up a Christmas tree instead of planting flowers outside.
Not to worry, because that just gives a little added flavor to it.
Yeah.
Probably we should have done that to more of those, but unfortunately.
You didn't
We
get
didn't.
to. Okay. Well, now we got the others baking, so now you can mix up some more icing for the others.
Now we're going to do the icing again. In case you didn't catch it the first time, we're going to do it again. And we'll just let these sit over here and cool for just a little bit while we do that.
But they don't have to cool too much till you can start in on them.
Oh, they won't cool much. They're about long
Bob's
enough,
already, his fingers are already itching.
about long enough to fix this icing is going to be about it.
Yeah,
I want 2 cups, right?
yeah, might as well fix this about what you did before, because see what you done with what you had.
That's 1.
Okay, we do the same thing over again.
And that's a 2. A 1 and a 2. And oh, what the heck, it's just a little dab in there, so let's just
Dump it in
dump
there.
it in there too.
Yeah.
No sense saving it back, just drizzle in it.
Just dump it in there.
So we just put that in there. Now we're down to
Did you lick your fingers? Did that taste all right to suit you? I forgot
Yep.
to taste it a while
a
ago.
1/4 teaspoon salt.
Yeah.
That's close. Don't worry about the excess running over there. And then we want about a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla.
About a teaspoon.
Oh, 1 teaspoon.
Yeah.
Well, that's close too. So notice we drizzle that in there. And a little bit of milk. Yeah, about right amount of milk here.
Well, don't pour all of it in there yet, because you may have too much. Don't take as much milk as it does some things, as it does sugar.
Yeah, but since I put a little extra sugar in there, it may take a little more milk.
You just pour it, you get it to suit you. And you see now how it looked before, and just make that one the same way. And while your other pan of rolls cooks.
Now, how many rolls did we get out of this recipe?
Well, now you can count them. If you can count them, why, you can count them and see. You want 2 pretty good sized pans full. Usually when I make a batch like that, well, I have enough so everybody gets to eat out of it.
Everybody gets at least 1.
But see, they kind of run together. It's a little bit hard to really count just exactly how many there is.
We have 14 rows going clear across there. If you cut those in two, that's 28 rolls in that one pan.
What I do sometimes,
And if you got two pans, that'd be 56. That'd be just enough for Bud and Jane.
That'll be enough for Jane, the rest of us won't get any.
well, the other
But since
pan,
she's
like
not
one or
here.
two will be in full. Now, what I was gonna say, now sometimes if I want them to look nice, to send to a bake sale, I take a pan about this long and about this wide, such as some I've got over there, and I just lay them in that pan so they'll all come out the same size.
Yeah, see, it's better though when they look more
And
appealing this way when they're odd sizes.
yeah, but when you're just gonna eat them yourself, well then you just fill up the pan. But when I'm gonna make, to take to a bake sale over to church or someplace, why, then I take another size pan and put them in that.
Remember, if you don't have one of those handy-dandy lump removers, you have to do it the old-fashioned way, which is just stirring it.
See, if you want them all to come out the same size, you put them in a pan this size, and then when they raise, they'll all be the same size, instead of using the big pan. Since he wants all the little lists in.
Don't tell her I put that extra milk in. She wasn't instructing on that. If she doesn't see that, I'm
Well, I never do that unless I'm gonna take them to a, like I say, over to church for the bazaar or something like that. I never do that. As you know, you kids, when you come in to get them, they're always in them big old pans. Because I just put them in them big old pans and stuff them all in there at once.
See now how smooth that is? See that? Remember that from the last time. No lumps, it's smooth. The lumps have been removed. Just waiting for the next pan of rolls.
You can chop that up so you can see it when you get it smooth.
Well, you see that? That is smooth. No lumps in there. That is smooth. Like I say, we're just waiting for the next pan of rolls to come out of here. We'll drizzle that over there. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if about 14 kids from the neighborhood smell this. Come rolling to the door pretty soon. So we just put that to the side and wait for the other pan to bake. And while we're waiting for the other pan to bake, when she's out of the room, we get the knife and we just kind of sneak into this first pan and see if these came out right. You know? We just check them out here and see if we did a good job. We just sneak one of these small ones off the end here. There it is. Doesn't that look yummy? All that cinnamon and sugar and icing just drizzling on. Still warm because it burns your fingers. If you hold them too long. Now that is when they're good. That's what I say. You just get yourself a tall glass of milk. And whoops. You just enjoy. Now that's good. That's good. You follow this tape for 1995 and you can't help but have a nice pan of cinnamon rolls. Just like this. Hold she's back.
Well, I was gonna say, they was ready to eat as soon as you could handle one.
She's back. Well, we thought we were sneaking them out here while you were gone.
No, they're ready to eat as soon as you can handle one of them and start eating off of it.
Well, I think we did a real good job.
They're ready.
Yeah.
oh, there's really no way you can ruin them. It could have been you had them ruined.
I'd had enough.
So there's really no way you can have not get them fixed right.
I would say that I have passed my apprenticeship test.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to try one and find out.
Yeah, you have to try one and find out.
I can begin working on my master baker's license now. Those
Well, I
are
think you should
delicious.
be able now to make you some at home anytime you want to. Except you have to get that big mixer for you.
I know.
Of course,
I
you
got
can
a
beat
mixer.
them up by hand and get away with it. Or you can always come down here and beat them up. Then, you know, put them in the car and run home with
I'll
them.
have to have another.
You may take a repeat sampling, huh? It's always hard after that first one to find
Yeah,
out to really
so,
tell.
well, and since you are sampling, I don't see any reason why I shouldn't,
Well, maybe you should critique them, and
but they're awfully hot yet.
well, that's when they're good.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant was you could just eat them anytime that they got cool enough to hold them in your fingers. They're not hardly cool enough for me to hold yet.
Too hot to handle.
Yep, it's too hot to handle.
See, that's when they're good, when you got to fight, dance with them to eat them. And that's when they're really good.
Of course, you can always reheat them in the microwave, but you don't, it kind of melts the icing a little.
Yeah.
But you can't have a little thing like that.
So did we pass the test?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they're very good.
Passed the test, didn't we?
Send in for the tape right away.
Very good, very good.
Yep, so send for the tape, 1995, and you could have a duplicate of this in your very own kitchen.
And if you can follow those instructions, good for you.
You just stir your icing up again and make sure
Yeah,
that
stir
it's
your icing up and
still smooth,
dribble it
no
on just like
lumps.
you did on the other pan full.
and you just strain it out of here and dribble it right along there so that you're getting all those rolls with some good old icing on there.
Yeah, you gotta get all that good icing on, because that's the important part of it.
Dribble right down there. You do this while they're still hot from the oven so
Yes, yes.
that the icing will
Then the icing glazes over.
glaze is good.
Let's
You
do it.
don't want to let them get too cool before you do this, because if you do,